So it's been announced Joe Richards wants to go to Port Adelaide. I'm calling it now. The Dan Houston deal is on. This is what Collingwood needed to get Dan Houston. From the Port Adelaide side of things, we are in a very good position now. We've just got to get that pick 13 from Gold Coast. It's on. It's on. So there's some serious traction happening now. Tom Morris has come out and said that he believes that Houston will end up at Collingwood. Lepich has had his press conference with Trade Radio saying that he's confident. Jay Clark is reporting that he thinks it'll all get done or along those lines. And yeah, everything's pretty much falling into place. Gold Coast have just come out and said that they would prefer to deal with the club, meaning Collingwood, with the pick 13 because we have what they want. So there's a video coming tonight or later this afternoon. But yeah, mate, I called it 2 nights ago. You're going to see some traction with Collingwood happening very, very, very early. And it's happening. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host, Andreas. Thank you for tuning in, and I told you. I said it in my last video that stuff with Collingwood is going to happen very, very early next week, and lo and behold, we are the first day of the trade period, and at 10:30 something, you've got Joe Richards announcing that he wants a trade. You've got Gold Coast coming out saying they only want to deal with Collingwood. Lepich is saying that we're very confident we're going to get Dan Houston. It's all coming together. So the Houston thing is on. It is so on. I've said that it was off. I've said that it's cooling down. I've said that we're on. And now I'm saying it's fucking on. All right? So, this is what we want. This is what we want, where we are in front. I wouldn't say we're in control, but we are in front of our arch rival snagging him. Now, Carlton have said, and they came out today, and they've said that they're not willing to part with their pick 11 or 12 or whatever it is, and they're taking it to the draft. I think it's pick 12 now because of the compo picks, whatever. Originally, I'm pretty sure it was pick 11. I could be wrong, drop in the comments. But we are 110% in the box seat now. Dan Houston hasn't turned around and said that he wants to go to a club. He is saying that he wants to go to Victoria. Now, that also does put North Melbourne in a very, very handy position because they've probably got more to what Port Adelaide want in the draft capital sense. Whereas we've got Joe Richards, and Joe Richards is exactly what Port Adelaide want. They've offered him a deal. He said he wants to go there. So there is no world where I see the Joe Richards trade being done by itself for like a future second, future third or whatever, which would be worth more than that. But we're in control of that aspect, as we're also in control of the aspect that we've got John Noble for Gold Coast. Now, I said before, Gold Coast have come out and they've said that they only want to deal with a club that's obviously in the position that to receive back what they want, so to speak, and that's us. So we are, at the time of filming this, daylight savings has sort of fucked everything, but it's 2:39 p.m. This started pretty much from 10:30 this morning, and from 10:30 till 2:30, everything has started coming out, which is exactly what we want to hear from a Collingwood point of view. Now, there are also many other rumours happening about like forwards that are available and stuff like that. I don't see anything happening with Ollie Lord. I don't see anything happening with anyone else at the moment. There is whispers that we could potentially still... Look, I'm a bit hesitant to come out and say it because there is a lot of rumours and stuff flying around. But this one's there's 2 that are gaining a bit of traction. I personally don't think that either of them are going to happen. But there's rumours coming out that the whole Collingwood Tom Lynch thing is still brewing on the side. But I wouldn't buy into that at the moment until we hear a little bit more. But that's just, you got what the media says, and then you've got what we hear, other things that are happening, and that's just the other things that are happening. And also the other things that are happening is the whole Matt Always thing. I think there's more of a chance that we go after a Matt Kennedy than a Matt Always, but there's shit that's brewing in the background. I wouldn't even go for them personally. I'd be more inclined to go for someone like a Curtis Taylor from North Melbourne that got delisted. You can get him as a rookie or something like that. He's got 73, 75 games experience. I would go down that path. But for now, the big stories that are coming out. Johnny Noble is going to go to the Gold Coast. Most likely, for picked, Collingwood are going to give Gold Coast John Noble and most likely next year's future first. We then get back the pick 13 and a future second, or pick 23 or 26 or whatever it is that Gold Coast have got. We then say, hello, Port Adelaide, and we pass on Joe Richards and the pick 13 to go to Port Adelaide. And look, we'll probably get Dan Houston and a future third behind or something like that. I think we are going to receive some sort of future pick coming back with a player, right? So if we do, that's awesome. Johnny Noble himself, is not worth pick 13 and 23 or whatever it is. If we did that, then I'd be... What Collingwood are doing then, I mean, give them an award or something. But I don't think that's going to happen. We're going to have to give a bit more. But look, to be honest, I'm seeing this more and more. I'm reading into it. I'm hearing things from very influential people within the club. We are going for this premiership. Now, regardless if it happens or not, we might finish bottom four. Who the fuck knows? I don't think it's going to happen. But something's going to happen. We are going for it. And for us to have very little draft capital, but to be manipulating the draft the way that we are and to be a serious player, one of the big boys at the moment, it's pretty good to see, considering the fact that we don't have Graham Wright at the helm doing all this stuff. Lepic has just come in and said, bang, and let's get it done. Lepic's words exactly were, we are confident and we want to bring Dan Houston to the club. We are going to do as best as we can, and we are going to manipulate other clubs. We are going to wheel and deal. We are going to get everything that we want, we are going to go for. And there is no ifs or buts about it. So it's an exciting time. It's a little bit of a nerve-wracking time, but it's an exciting time because the last thing you want as a Collingwood supporter, we put all our eggs in the Dan Houston basket, and we sort of are now. We've got Perryman, which, fuck, come on, that's pretty good. Now we're going the Dan Houston road. If we can walk away from this draft period, I'm losing my mind. If we can walk away from this trade period, and this is the first day, and we're already set. If we can walk away from it once this whole thing's finished, leading into the draft, and be like, we've got a couple of draft picks this year and a strong draft. Our first pick is in the 30s. And, people are forgetting this is a very strong draft too. Side topic. This is a very strong draft. A pick in the 30s with all the pushbacks and compo picks that are coming is a strong pick. Imagine picking up someone, a gun midfielder or a gun key forward or a gun defender at pick 35 or whatever it is. All of a sudden, we've got Dan Houston in the club, we've got Harry Perryman in the club, and we've just drafted a key position player for the next 12 years at pick 33 or 35, whatever the fuck it is. We are in a solid spot, like a real good one. And people don't understand that, this draft is so stacked, it's so big, right? A pick like that, the Pies are like, fuck, whatever, bro. We've got our pick, right? McRae's right. Bring in the players. Let's fill the holes. Perryman, Houston, and potentially another player. Could be a Matt Kennedy. Could be someone else that we get in, right? We've still got to figure out what's going on with our, Bartel, and those group of players. We know now that Richards is going. We know that Noble's going. Okay, so there's 2 spots on the list there that we've got. We've got Perriman coming in, and we'll probably have Houston coming in now. So there's still these other ones here, Sullivan, etc., that we're going to find out what's going on. Obviously, that the stuff came out in the media that he's in limbo and all that stuff. Fine, whatever. But let's just concentrate on getting that pick from Gold Coast. We then give Noble to Gold Coast. We get that pick 13, and whatever's tied to it behind, who cares? The key is pick 13. Carlton want to take pick 11 or pick 12 that they've got to the draft. Go, do it, right? Go pick up a gun for the next 10, 15 years. See you later. We're going to go for the flag now and not be in limbo. We're going to fill the spots that we need. We go to Port. We give them Joe Richards. We get Dan Houston in return. We'll probably have to give them a future pick, and we'll probably get back a sweetener on top behind. That's the news today. Realistically, it's fucking massive. I said, and you guys got to listen to me because I got the intel. I've got the intel. I said it in my video the other day after I reviewed the Copeland. Things are going to happen very early with Collingwood. We are going to set the foundation for this trade period. We are going to set ourselves up in spots that we need to. It's basically a game of chess. We position ourselves on the board properly and say, this is what we've got. We focus on one move, knowing that we've got to do this, that these other clubs are going to do that. We know that Carlton aren't going to give away that pick. We know what North Melbourne have got. They've got everything there ready to go, but we know that Port don't necessarily want to deal with them. They don't necessarily want to deal with Carlton straight away either. Let them talk about whatever it is they need to. Let North Melbourne focus on Luke Parker, Jack Darling, who's going to happen today, Caleb Daniel, who's probably going to, I don't know, he might stay Bulldogs, whatever. And we'll focus on the whole John Noble thing, and then we just fucking go bang, bang, bang. The domino was the Harry Perriman move to Collingwood. Once that happened, right, and Port Adelaide were like, fuck, what are we doing here? Joe Richards then goes to Port Adelaide. Port are now not as bitter because they're going to get him, right? Gold Coast want Noble. Everything will fall into pieces. I said it. Things are going to happen early. Did I think it was going to happen this early? I thought maybe it would have happened towards the end of Monday, realistically, but we're talking 10:30 in the morning, Monday morning, the trade window opens, and lo and behold, Collingwood's fucking up there. And the club is being very proactive, and this is what you want to see because our preseason starts now. It's the mathematics, it's all the bullshit that happens. It starts now. Pies fans, get fucking excited, I'm telling you. I've got a good feeling now that we are, even if we don't get Houston, it is the point of us now turning around to everyone and saying, hey, we ain't got much, but guess what? Fuck you, we're going for it. We're going for it. And this whole thing, and I'll leave you this before I go, this whole thing about it being awkward when McRae said about Joe Richards, we think we can see you fucking in black and white type for, you know, whatever he said to him at the Copeland, right? Mate, it's fucking mind games. Collingwood are playing mind games. They wanted to keep Joe Richards 100%. As soon as he said that he's up for trade, we're like, good, see you later, because we're getting Dan Houston, right? But by McRae saying that, that just shows Port Adelaide that we value Joe Richards. So we'll give you Joe Richards, but if we give you him, guess what? You got to give us a sweetener back on top of Houston because we want him. We don't want to get rid of him. So Port now are going into this trade knowing that, hey, Collingwood are actually going to trade someone to us of substance. They're going to trade someone who they value. So this is not like when Carlton came in and said, hey, fuck you, man. We'll give you the players that we don't want and we'll give you some future picks and stuff like that. And Port are like, no. We want picks now. If the trade for John Noble goes through, and we are in the box seat, it's been reported by Tom Morris, it's been reported by Jay Clark, and I mean, Lepich has said that he's confident Houston's coming, so, and then the follow-on conversation was the whole thing about this pick 13. If the Pies are confident it's going to happen, I got full faith that it's going to happen. So it's a wait and see. But I said it to you last week. Things are going to happen early with Collingwood. Guys, drop a comment. I know I've rambled on heaps, but I'm fucking excited. Our preseason has just begun, right? We are doing everything that we need to do to chase this 17th flag, and we're not fucking, oh, this list is looking really good, boys. I fucking love it. Drop a comment, call it as you see it, and go the fucking Pies.